So, hey, I'm C, and I am doing my master's in Trinity right now in marketing. And today I'm going to be talking about freelancing and my experience with it and some thoughts about it. Just giving you a little bit disclaimer, I do not have any script or any format to my videos. It's gonna be so random. I'm just gonna be talking about things that just flow into my head. So, why I moved into freelancing and how did I do it? 2 years ago, I started freelancing. I was working in a full-time job and I was working in-house doing marketing, social media management, content creation, graphic design, blah, blah, blah. And I decided to also freelance on the side. The reason, number one, is it wasn't for the money. It was because I was at a point where I was feeling really lost and I did not have the self-confidence to do a lot of things because I was new to the field. I didn't have any background. I just did my bachelor's and I started working in a startup where there was nobody else who could guide me in person to show me how things are done. And I had to like figure it out like all on my own. And I did not have the confidence to be like, this is gonna work. This is how we do this. Even though I had sort of an idea, I have a lot of ideas, but I never really executed them because I was always scared that it's not gonna work out. But then something changed when I started freelancing. I had so much more creative freedom. But more than that, I felt so much more confident because the people who hired me to do the freelancing stuff, it was much easier for them to go on with my ideas than at my full-time job for some reason. And that's the whole reason I started doing my master's. I'm doing my master's in marketing right now at Trinity because I don't want, my camera's just shaking. I don't want anyone else ever in my life again tell me that you don't have a background in marketing. I'm not going to listen to your ideas. I'm not going to listen to what you have to say because that is literally how I used to feel when I was working in my first full-time job. Like, it just was a horrible feeling. And right now, when I'm doing my master's, things are like so much more in, like, I understand things a bit more, a lot more better. Like, a lot of things I've done it when I was working, but I never understood why I did it or how it's done. I would just like wing it like most of the times, and now it's more structured in my brain, if that makes sense. Um, and also going back to freelancing, when I started doing it, I started meeting a lot of different people with a lot of different products and brands, and it was so interesting to work on different types of clients. It's a pain also. It's there's like pros and cons to like everything, but it was also so fun to just go around, execute crazy ideas, and I always ended up with clients who did not want something that was just bland. It was always people who gave me a lot of creative freedom to like just run around and do things that I wanted to do. I did a lot of content creation, photography, videography, and I am currently right now like working on something that has to do with strategy, because strategy is something that I learned that I really like to do. And that's pretty much why I moved into the side of freelancing at times. I think this is something that I will always be doing. Like take on mini side projects side quests on the side, like all the time, um, because it's fun and it has nothing to do with making money for me, especially. Uh, uh, risks of doing freelancing jobs is like, I mean, you already know, like it's not stable. You cannot always like entirely depend on it sometimes, unless you have built like a huge portfolio and you have a huge amount of like clients that you can rely on and they keep coming back to you. Other than that, it's also, it can be sketchy at times if you don't have the terms discussed properly. Sometimes clients don't pay you. It has happened to me one time. I was working with a perfume brand and the guy paid like 50% of it, and then later on he just like refused to pay the rest 50%, and he just kept like saying like, oh, I'll pay like tomorrow, next week, day after, and it just never happened. um so things like that can happen. um Other than that, what was I gonna talk about? I don't know. Let me see. Yes. How do you get clients? How do you get people to work with when you're freelancing? To be fair, for me, it's always been, I've been, I always gotten clients when I'm not looking for them. Um, I, one of the ways that I got them was like when I was just walking around with my camera in this area and there were a lot of small stores, like that was like pretty new, and like some of the owners were there, and I got a couple of opportunities from that by just like talking to them. I didn't even like approach them with the mindset of wanting to work with them or anything. I just walked into stores, like it's just something I like to do, or like wherever I go I like to talk to people, and a lot of times that's how I ended up with like a freelance gig. Like I would just talk to them, they'd be like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, like I do this, and they'd be like, oh my god, like I've been looking for someone to do this for me, like can you do that? And I'll be like, yeah, I can. And that's like how it has happened a lot of times. Also a lot of networking events. If you go to a lot of networking events which has a lot of founders and stuff, founders are always looking for people to help them. Um, that's another way that you could get a gig. Again, like with me, I'm kind of picky on who I choose to work with because I absolutely cannot work on something that I don't believe in. Uh, it's not the best way to do it, I guess, sometimes, like, because, like, sometimes you're gonna have to work with clients that you don't really like, but I personally, I think I have the freedom to do that because I don't make freelance as my main thing ever. I don't think I am going to. Um, but yeah. And another thing that I wanted to add is that when I moved into doing my own thing on the side, the amount of the feeling that I got from like it, I don't know how to explain it. I felt like I can do this. Like it made me feel so much more expressive as someone who likes to create, and more, what's the word? Yes. It made me push my boundaries and like go way more than what I thought I can do. Um, and you're gonna have to manage your own time. You're gonna have to do things. You're gonna have to plan out everything. You're gonna have to be professional. You're gonna have to know how to talk to your client. You're gonna have to know how to present yourself. I think I never had an issue with like being able to present myself to a client. Especially since I worked like in-house, I always directly talked to my founder. In the beginning, I did not understand how to do it. But as time, I felt like I was getting really better at that. And I always use that, and I've had no issues on that area. Just be yourself, be honest and direct, and make sure that all the terms and everything is out there. And don't just do it like, just don't make it like something like, oh, I'm getting money out of you. Don't make it like feel like a very restrictive business kind of a thing. But it just wouldn't work out if you do it like that. Like, connect with the other person. That's like the most important part. Like, I would never work with someone that I don't personally connect with. And yeah, that's pretty much it. A little thought, some of my thoughts on freelancing. Yep. So today I'm gonna be talking about freelancing. It looks so bad. But since I'm balding nowadays, I'm gonna keep my hair open. If that's not your thing, okay. But if you're okay with that and you vibe with it, do watch the rest of the video, I guess. I don't know.